Welcome in, Irish fans. It is Victory Sunday. You got to feel pretty good about the way things turned out yesterday. Irish put 56 points up on the board against Stanford. Not to say that that's not all to be entirely expected. As I mentioned earlier in the week, Stanford's front four, front five, whatever you will, their defensive line is not terribly effective, and so we knew that Estime and the rest of the running back core was kind of going to get into up to the second level, and Estime just makes people miss. It doesn't matter how good you are as a linebacker. He's going to make you miss, and it doesn't matter how good you are as a safety. He's bigger than you. He's going to run you over. Right. So if the defensive line is not doing what they need to do and getting their arms out and getting hands on him, if they're not effectively slowing him down at the line, he's gonna hurt you getting to the next level. 24 carries for him yesterday, 240 yards, 250 yards. 238 yards on 25 carries, averaged 9.5 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. What a day he had. I know he was gassed a number of times throughout the course of the game. You saw him kind of come off the field and sit down. You could see him breathing heavy. I'm glad they set him down. He had some fumble issues early in his career because of the fact that he was just exhausted. And you could tell he was exhausted. And then they put him right back out there and say, "Hey, buddy, go do it again." Let him sit. But also, his physical conditioning should have been getting better. It seems to have been getting better. And the fact that he was able to put up the kinds of numbers that he was yesterday on 25 carries really kind of showed why he didn't get 20 or more carries throughout the rest of the season. I have no idea. Any game where he carried less than 15 times, we did not produce as well. The only games that we lost, he carried for had less than 15 carries. So I would have loved to see more of him throughout the regular season. Sam Hartman yesterday did not have a great day. 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. He passed for 140 yards. He was 8 for 14, averaged 10 yards per pass. But there were some passes out there. Some of those passes that dropped incomplete, the 6 that dropped incomplete, they looked like they were going to the wrong team. Those were dangerous passes. I don't know what's going on. For whatever reason, he just does not play well when he's away. He played fine in Ireland, but for whatever reason, away games this year have been a real struggle for him. And it's a cause for concern. It's a cause for concern going to a bowl game. It's a cause for concern for him going to the NFL. I think he's got all of the athletic ability to be a great NFL quarterback. It's just a matter of developing him and helping him read the defense. And some of it's in here. Some of it's just in his head. You cannot be an effective quarterback at this level of football, whether it's top 10, 20 teams in the NCAA or just in the NFL period. You can't make the kind of mental errors that he's making and be in your head. Brady Quinn once said in an interview that one of the most challenging things that he had, both at the collegiate level and at the NFL level, was letting go of that interception. Marcus Freeman said a couple weeks ago, that when you throw it away, everybody gets shook up a little. Your quarterback gets shook up. Everybody, the offensive coordinator, the wide receivers, they all kind of they get shaken up a little bit. And the key, of course, is having a short memory. Sam Hartman needs to learn how to have a short memory and kind of get over the last one. Get over the one that sucked and not think about it all day, or for the rest of the game, or next week, or what. Learn to have a short memory. I don't know how you coach that. I don't know what you do that. I'm not a quarterback's coach. That's not my job to do. But that's the reality. It's something that you've got to learn. You got to be able to shake that one off. I gotta say, overall, the wide receiving core played really well yesterday. Did not like the near fumble in the end zone. I understand, reaching out, get the ball over, break the plane, right? That's dangerous, though. And we saw why. You know, if we had not had a good camera angle to show that he broke the plane with the football, that would have been a turnover in the end zone for a touchback. That's just all there is to it. You know, protect the ball. Hartman did a terrible job of protecting the ball yesterday while he was running. And we've seen this a lot from quarterbacks at Notre Dame over the last, 8 years. There's somebody's one-handed carrying the ball, not carrying the ball high and tight, carrying the ball with two hands. I'm glad he was carrying the ball with two hands, but he was, he was carrying it like it was a baby or something. Like, I don't really know what to do with this, right? Like, it's not a baby. You hold on to that sucker a whole lot tighter than you hold on to a baby. You know, babies also have arms. Anyway, it's getting a little ridiculous around here as usual, but you get the idea. You can't hold the football like this. Get it up there, get it underneath, tuck it into your arm. If you're going to cover it with two arms, and cover it with two arms for Pete's sake. Like, anybody who's played running back at the elementary school level, at the middle school level, at the high school level, understands how to hold a football properly. That's not how you hold a football properly. So if we can't do that in the NCAA as a top 20 team, why should anybody trust you in the NFL? If you're gonna take off running and you're gonna hold the ball one-handed, or hold it like it's, I don't know, hold it like it's a candle. Here you go. It's not a beer either. It's two hands and hold it tight. Anyway, I gotta say I was really impressed with a couple of Stanford players yesterday. First off, that kicker of theirs, Joshua Carty. I feel bad for him getting hurt on the blocked punt. Yeah. Javonte John Baptiste he's just a big dude. And he kind of shoved him over and said, "No, not today. You're not tackling me." Looked like it had some sort of effect on his leg or his knee. He fell weird. I don't know. I hope he's okay. And the other guy that I feel bad for on the Stanford defense, their linebacker, Jorgensen. I don't know why that guy was in there. He's a first-string middle linebacker. I don't know why he was in there in the fourth quarter, down by 4 scores. But to let that young man stay out there and play in the fourth quarter of a football game, when it's your last game and you're trying to go to the NFL after that, that's ridiculous. You may have just very well ruined that young man's career by having him out there in the fourth quarter when you're down by that much. And I understand not conceding a football game, but the other team's got their second and third string guys out there playing on offense. They've got most of their third string out playing on defense. Get them off the field. Play the right guys. Right? Don't risk getting your star players hurt. It's just, I think it was completely insane that Jorgensen was still out there in the fourth quarter. And, maybe they don't have a lot of depth. I don't really know. I don't pay a ton of attention to Stanford. I'm not paying a ton of attention to Stanford's defense, so maybe he was rotating in. But let the younger guys play. Let them get out there and get some experience. That helps your team next year. Again, I think that was just an awful thing to do. Get your backups in there. Figure it out. It's just not something you do. We had a lot of experience. We got a lot of experience on defense yesterday. Again, with our second and third string in the fourth quarter, which was really good to see. Drake Bowen had 3 solo tackles yesterday. He's the next guy at linebacker for us. It was good to see Maris Leofau show up yesterday. I realize he's a senior, and that doesn't really apply. But again, Javonte John Baptiste, defensive end. He's going to be big for us going forward. Love to see him get in there and get some plays. We had about 20 guys line up on defense yesterday at some point in time and make a play during the game. And it was a beautiful thing to see. One thing that I didn't like seeing was Jadarian Price fumble on the return. That was concerning. And again, are we holding the ball wrong? What are we doing? I'm going to turn my timer off here. We're going to keep going for a little bit. Uh, Jack Kaiser had a beautiful interception yesterday. I thought he was going to pick the ball off a few times. Our secondary had multiple opportunities to make multiple picks yesterday, and didn't execute on the interception. But gosh darn it, I don't care so much that they didn't catch the ball because they knocked it down. Right? Interception's perfect world. You're not always going to get those. But I love to see them getting scrappy, getting their hands in there, getting their hands on the ball, knocking it down, playing scrappy football. They did a great job yesterday overall. And then we only had one punt yesterday. Ben Krim punted one for 44 yards. So it really the game turned out a lot, as expected. The only thing that was disappointing was all the points off of turnovers. We had 3 turnovers and they scored 10, 13 points off of turnovers. So it should have been 56 to no more than 56 to 10. 56-13. With 1 touchdown late in the fourth quarter. All right, y'all. That's going to be it for me for today. We'll talk a little bit over the coming weeks as we, learn about our bowl game. I do want to talk a little bit about the playoff picture. I will say I do think it's going to be Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and I think Washington loses to Oregon and Texas finds its way into that number 4 spot. So that's my prediction for the playoff going forward. Very excited to see what we get, what Notre Dame gets as a bowl game. If we play LSU, it's going to be really interesting because they've got a powerful offense, explosive offense, and we've got a pretty explosive defense. So could be pretty exciting. They don't really have a defense either, as we've kind of seen. So who knows? And also, we'll talk a little bit in future weeks about what we might get as far as a quarterback coming in. I was not excited about Angeli yesterday with the interception. I realized that was just a bad read. Some of that's inexperience. It'd be nice to get him a little bit more experience before we get him out there playing full time. But maybe that quarterback competition will help him with that. So that's it for me. I love y'all. Keep looking up. God bless. Go Irish. We'll see you soon.